What is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? We're going to talk about that on this Monday edition of Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and coming up, an in-depth look at why the Eagles are dominated once again by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to eye up some troubling trends for the Birds, but also inject some positivity into this show. Before we get started, I want to say thank you to the Bird Gang and all of the real ones for supporting this channel. This morning, we surpassed 86,000 subscribers after that show last night. What we do would not be possible without all of you. So if you're looking for Eagles shows that come your way on your YouTube feed every single day year-round, hit that subscribe button. And with that, let's talk about this defeat for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has a turnover problem. It's killing this Philadelphia Eagles offense, and this is a highly problematic trend that goes back to last year, and it has to be fixed. And if it's not, Jalen Hurts might not be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles next year, and this Eagles offense will not reach their ceiling. Jalen Hurts, after that game against the Buccaneers, now has 54 turnovers in 60 games. He has now gone 9 straight regular season games with a giveaway. That is 27 turnovers in his last 22 games. And another problematic trend, he once again struggled against the blitz as Todd Bowles was smelling blood, and he sent the pressure toward the direction of Hurts, and he had no answers, didn't know where to go with the football. He was pressing, holding onto the ball too long, and it was just a listless performance in all phases of the game for Philadelphia yesterday in Tampa. Turnovers and handling the blitz. Those are Jalen Hurts' two biggest issues as a quarterback. And the elite quarterbacks in the league right now, the elite quarterbacks in the National Football League throughout the history of this great game have been able to fare well when handling pressure, and they don't turn the ball over. They don't put the ball in harm's way. Is the book out on Hurts? Is this who he is? The Eagles were definitely short-handed yesterday without an all-pro right tackle in Lane Johnson, without their top 2 wide receivers in A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. But this problematic trend isn't just a 2024 problem. Hurts turning the football over at an alarming rate dates back to the start of last year in 2023. And Todd Bowles once again owned Jalen Hurts on Sunday. He blitzed Hurts 26 times on 37 dropbacks. Hurts was just 12 of 20, completing 60% of his passes for only 100 yards. He had a touchdown, no picks, a bad fumble, 3 turnover-worthy plays, and he was sacked 5 times when facing that pressure. And going back to last year, Hurts leads the National Football League in turnovers with 27. The decision-making is not good enough. He is processing the game slowly, and this is not a sustainable way to play the quarterback position. And if it continues, the Eagles could have a new quarterback next year, and we might be looking down the gun barrel at another Carson Wentz dilemma. Are there reasons for hope? The Eagles are going to get healthy coming out of the bye week. That will help out Hurts and this offense. But Jalen Hurts continues to play bad, turnover-prone football, and it is really holding this Eagles offensive unit back. Now, through 4 games, if you want some positivity, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, you look at the numbers, Hurts has put up better statistics. Both are completing 68% of their passes, but Hurts has thrown for 930 yards to Mahomes' 904. They both have 6 total touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes actually has more interceptions, but Hurts has a fumbling problem as well, and their quarterback rating very similar. 85.7, 89.7 for Patrick Mahomes. But Mahomes is going for a 3-peat. He already has multiple Super Bowls under his belt, and Hurts, since that Super Bowl performance in which he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 57, has regressed. His play has declined, and the turnovers, they have increased. This is today's poll question. I want to hear from you down in the comments section. Is Jalen Hurts the answer at quarterback for the Eagles? A for answer, B for bust. Let me know down in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment on today's Eagles Now. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, use it to your advantage. Scroll on down and let your voices be heard. With Hurts' issues, we must discuss the Lane Johnson effect. Philadelphia continues to really struggle without Lane Johnson being the anchor at right tackle. And these numbers really are incredible. Since 2013, when he was drafted by Chip Kelly out of Oklahoma, the Eagles are 97, 59, and 1 in the 157 career games that Lane Johnson has played, and that includes the regular season and in the playoffs. That is a winning percentage of 62%. When Lane Johnson does not play, Philadelphia is 14 and 24 without him. And after Fred Johnson replaced Lane Johnson against New Orleans last week in a loud, raucous environment in which Fred Johnson played excellent football yesterday against Tampa Bay, it could have been the heat, it could have been the pressures, it could have been that Todd Bowles defense. Fred Johnson was really bad. He gave up 11 pressures, according to Pro Football Focus. And nobody else along that Eagles offensive line gave up more than 3. And Todd Bowles in that game, you could tell with how he stacked the box, how he mixed his coverages, with how he dialed up pressures, with how he disguised those blitz packages. He smelled blood. He sensed that Hurts didn't know where to go with the football. He was panicking. He was indecisive, that he couldn't handle the pressure. And Todd Bowles, with his defensive play calling, was straight up relentless. He attacked Jalen Hurts. He attacked the play designs and the offensive system of Kellen Moore. He knew that Philadelphia was without Lane Johnson, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. He knew, too, that the Eagles' offensive line, with Fred Johnson at right tackle, was struggling mightily, and that's what elite coaches do. And Todd Bowles certainly has the number of Nick Sirianni and Hurts, because now Sirianni and Hurts, as a partnership, they are 1-4 in their career against Todd Bowles. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seemingly and sneakily have become a little bit of a villain for Philadelphia, a team that just has the Eagles number. We are only getting started here on this Monday edition of Eagles Now. Plenty to get to. And coming up next, we must talk about the Eagles' defensive issues as well. And I am going to inject some positivity. Why you should feel optimistic about Philadelphia even in the aftermath of this bad defeat. Our sponsor for today's show, our friends at GameTime. If you want the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed, an app in which you can get in the door to a sporting event, concert, comedy show, theater event at the lowest price with the best seats. Download the GameTime app. They specialize in these last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. The technology on this app is incredible. You can access tickets right from your phone, easily resell those tickets. Eagles have a bye week in Week 5. Coming out of the bye, they do play host to a bad Cleveland Browns team. They should be able to win that game. They must win that game. So if you want to go to an Eagles game this year, as you can see, plenty of tickets available for that Browns-Eagles tilt, and plenty of tickets available for the remainder of this Eagles schedule. But again, thanks to Game Time Picks, curation makes it easier to find tickets at the lowest price guaranteed to all types of events. And that includes sports, concerts, comedy shows, and theater. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. Terms apply, first purchase only, and you get that $20 off, which is a fantastic deal. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. What time is it? Game time. As for the Eagles defense, the Eagles certainly have defensive issues. They have played poorest football in 3 of their 4 games to start off the 2024 season. And how can Philadelphia go from dominating the Saints to whatever that was against Tampa Bay? According to Next Gen Stats, tackling was part of the problem yesterday. Philadelphia missed 16 tackles throughout the game. That led to an additional 105 yards after contact for the Bucs. And Nakobe Dean at that linebacker spot had a team-high 5 missed tackles. I get it. The heat was difficult to deal with. You don't get that heat index, humidity, or that upped temperature in Philadelphia, especially this time of year. but it's something that you have to have foresight with, and you have to know when you go down to Tampa, it's going to be really hot. And we saw that the Eagles were cramping up. They were wearing down. Did that have to do with their lack of effort and lack of concentration? Seemingly, that's everything that we saw in that game yesterday. Not an excuse. And there are defensive issues to ponder for Vic Fangio and this Eagles organization. Coming out of the bye week, I would bench Avonte Maddox and play Cooper DeJean in the slot. Avonte Maddox looks to be cooked. I would get Devin White on the field. He is an excellent athlete. I can count on him to tackle, and he will help you with your pass rush. I would seriously wonder if it's the right move to trade for Hassan Reddick. The Eagles cannot get after the quarterback. There are reasons behind that, but their pass rush has been mostly non-existent this year. I would stop playing Bryce Huff as an outside linebacker. Vic Fangio is using Bryce Huff as a stand-up edge rusher. When he is in that 4-point stance, and I watched the Baldies break down this morning, all of his sacks, all 10 of them last year, came in the 4-point stance. He had that get-off. He had the speed, but now he's playing out of his comfort zone, and you're not using him the way that he's been used where he's had success before. That's on Vic Fangio. That's bad coaching. And some Eagles fans have posed this question. Should the Eagles bench Darius Slay and start Keely Ringo? Darius Slay has certainly been up and down to start the year. I wouldn't do that coming out of the bye week, but as we progress during the 2024 season, that is something that I will seriously consider, and I'm going to continue to watch the tape on Darius Slay. I'm watching him closely, especially after his Twitter meltdown after the game yesterday when he had the balls to tweet out his resume after he got cooked yesterday against Tampa Bay. That's not what team captains do. That is loser energy. Now, part of the reason the Eagles cannot get home to the quarterback is because teams are prioritizing getting the ball out quickly to negate that Eagles pass rush. Baker Mayfield yesterday averaged 1.95 seconds to throw. That is the fastest for any quarterback in the NFL this year. So for Fangio, it's time to adjust. And how you can adjust to quarterbacks getting rid of the ball quickly, challenge these skill position players a little bit more. And Philadelphia has had no cornerbacks in press coverage this year on 88% of their snaps. That is the highest rate in the NFL, and that is not sustainable for a modern-day defense to do. So Vic Fangio grew up in Dunmore, Iron and Rail Town. He came up under Jack Henzis, who is an old-school football guy. Boomer Vic Fangio has to make changes with the defense. And he has to look at what Brian Flores is doing and Jim Schwartz is doing and what Steve Spagnuolo is doing. Mix up your coverages. Adjust. Send some blitz packages from time to time. Fake the blitz. Back off. Confuse and confound the opposing offense because right now, everything is too easy for opposing offenses. You've played one good game, and that's against New Orleans, and that's it. And I do believe that the Eagles have some solid defensive personnel, but it's up to the coaching staff to maximize that personnel. And right now, Vic Fangio is not doing that for a plethora of reasons. So be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior, approaching 14,000 followers on X, just surpassed 33,000 followers on Instagram. I put out a lot of Eagles thoughts that are short form in addition to the long form content here on the show. And let's round out with some reasons for hope. There are some reasons to be optimistic about the Eagles going into this Week 5 bye. What are they? Well, coming out of the bye, they're going to take on the Cleveland Browns at home, and this Eagles offense is going to get healthier. You have to imagine that A.J. Brown coming off that hamstring injury, DeVonta Smith, as he clears concussion protocol, and the same can be said for Lane Johnson, will return to the lineup after the bye week against Cleveland. The Eagles have also traveled 3 of the first 4 weeks to start the year. It's a lot of mileage. Brazil, Atlanta, Tampa. They now don't have a flight until October 3rd, or until late October, and they have 3 flying trips left for the remainder of the year. So they do not have to board a flight all that often for the rest of the year. That will help this banged-up Eagles team and just help the body clock a little bit. And they also have an easy schedule coming up. Here is the Eagles' schedule after the bye week. Week 6 against Cleveland. The Browns are 1-3. Week 7 on the road against the Giants. The Giants are 1-3, worst team in the NFC East. Week 8 on the road against Cincinnati. That'll be a difficult game because you have to face Joe Burrow, but the Bengals are 1-3. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars are winless to start the year. I feel bad for Doug Peterson because Trevor Lawrence has been so atrocious, but Jacksonville is 0-4. So Philadelphia here should be able to gather some momentum, but they have to fix their issues and they have to make adjustments and they have to get healthy, and all of those things are doable. Nick Sirianni has to coach better. Kellen Moore has to coach better. Vic Fangio has to coach better. The players have to play better. Jalen Hurts has to stop turning the ball over, but all of those issues, in my eyes, are correctable. And if they don't get corrected, a lot of Bill Belichick rumors are going to start to heat up for the Eagles looking ahead to 2025. So with that, I fittingly ask you this. The Eagles will finish as a top blank team in the NFC. What do you think? Let me know. Thanks for watching. We'll be back later with another Eagles video, so be on the lookout for that today.